Alrighty, Juanitosville. Welcome back to Boom Jewelry Designs, Jewelry Adventures. I'm your host for this video, as always, Benny Boom, the three-eyed monster. We are going to talk about solder today, and we're going to talk about flux. This has been a request by some people to say, hey, can you talk about some of this stuff? And when a lot of us learn this when we're first starting out, but you know how there's so much information, you can't really retain every bit of information. So sometimes you need a refresher. And for some of us that are new, that aren't getting this from instructors, you can get it from me here at Boom Jewelry Designs. So let's zoom into this and take a quick look at where we're going to start. All right, guys, these are the four kind of common types of solder. We're going to start with solder here, and we're going to go with hard. The melting point of hard solder at its highest is going to be 1450, medium 1390, easy 1325, extra easy 1270. So the difference between medium solder and hard solder is only about 40 degrees. The difference between medium and easy is 65 degrees, and the difference between easy and extra easy is 55 degrees. So that's not a lot, guys, especially when you're talking about a torch that is, 2000 degrees or whatever kind of torch you're using. I use acetylene with the Gauss acetylene with the oxygen airflow into it. It doesn't have the two knobs. It only has the one bonehead knob for us boneheads out there, old school acetylene. So let's talk about how you use this. Now, hard solder is typically your beginning. When you're starting a project, you really want to use hard, especially when it comes to bezels. Now, look at this bezel right here. The bezel cup, just the fine silver cup, you want to use hard, and then everything after that is going to be, the next to put it onto the back plate is going to be medium. Because if you start with, say for example, you start with easy, and then you put a hard solder, your cup is going to come undone because it's going to get hotter than it's going to take to put it onto the back plate. So you want to start, and almost a rule of thumb, I've never heard another silversmith out there say start with anything but hard for your bezel cup. And then when you go to put it down on the back plate, you want to use medium. And then maybe medium on this. I think I did this whole thing with medium, except for the bezel cup. I did hard because that's kind of the rule of thumb. You'll be mad if you don't, because it'll come apart. But I hardly ever use easy. I almost exclusively use hard for my bezels, for my bezel cups, and then medium thereafter. So yeah, and then for repairs, or if you're working on something that's at the very, very end of it, you might want to go with easy. I don't have extra easy. I've never used it, and but it's handy to have some easy around, because you never know when you might need that final touch, and you don't want anything else to come undone. So you want to start the beginning part of your project with hard, then go to, if you have some other parts, put medium, and then at the very, very, very end, if required, or for repairs, easy. The reason why I say repairs is because especially if you didn't make it, you're not sure what the previous artist used. You don't want for stuff to come undone and then to make it more of a headache for yourself. You probably want to use easy because it has like the lowest melting point. The hard solder is it's going to create a stronger bond because it's just going to be stronger, and your easy is going to be, I guess, not as strong. This is what I've learned. To make hard solder, you use 75% sterling silver and 25% brass. It's a pretty simple, by weight, it's a pretty simple formula that will make your hard solder. Hard solder right there. And I think if you want to have it more medium, then you use more brass. And if you want even more brass than 25%, there's probably videos out there on how to do it. I've never made my own solder, but I really want to. But you just do it in your crucible. Like if you're, if you're melting silver, you just melt some sterling silver, weigh it, say I want 75% sterling, and then put 25% brass. Brass has a little bit of zinc in it, which is brass is a copper zinc alloy. That's what creates brass. And sterling is, it's copper and 925 silver, and then the other percent copper. But that's how you make hard solder: 25 and 75% sterling, 25% brass. If you've ever wanted to do that, I'll probably do a video down the road on how to do that. So yeah, that's basically solder right there, friends. There's not a lot of difference between the easy, medium, and hard, but it's significant enough that it does make a difference in. There's not a lot of difference in temperature, considering you're working with like 2,000 degrees, but you'll see the solder respond accordingly as you heat it up. Now let's talk a little bit about flux, guys. Now I have these flux here. This is a mighty flux. This is pretty common in jewelry making. And I have this other flux. It's not mighty flux. It's kind of a different kind of flux, but it's also a liquid flux. And I don't have the big container that I have this in, but this says is very similar to this, but this one says that on the bottle that it helps prevent fire scale. And I still get fire scale sometimes, and we'll talk a little bit about fire scale because it's the nemesis of most jewelry designers. And this is called handy flux. This is kind of a concentrated, a paste flux. And handy flux is, some people use it exclusively. I was taught to always use handy flux when you're doing mixed metals, especially with copper and brass, actually, because when you do copper and brass with sterling, the copper and brass tend to oxidize very quickly. Now, I used handy flux to make this bracelet, and it worked just fine. And let me talk to you a little bit about why you want to use handy flux. Is because it's a paste and it's more of a concentrate than these guys. When you're going heavy with heat and you're going to put a lot of heat on it, this stuff kind of evaporates and then kind of disseminates pretty quickly. These liquids, because they're diluted. There's a lot of water in there. Now, this stuff is, now I've had this ever since I started doing jewelry. I've had it for years, and pretty dry. But this stuff is, I can just add some warm water, mix it up, and then get it pasty again, and then it'll work just fine. It works every time. This stuff does not disseminate under high heat. So if you're going to make a big chunky cuff, or you're going to do something that is going to require a lot of heat, mixed metals is one of those. You got to get fast, put a lot of heat on it, and it'll minimize your chances of copper and your brass oxidizing, which inhibits the solder from flowing. Now, if you have if you've done jewelry, that if once your piece gets dirty and crusty, your solder is not going to want to cooperate. It's not going to want to flow. And you might have to pickle it and get it clean again, expose the metal, and then give another shot. But this stuff really helps. It coats very well, and it doesn't disseminate or evaporate under high heat as quickly as this does. So if you're going to be using something big and chunky, you want to use handy flux. If you're going to do just little jump rings or just little pieces, you can just do a little dab of regular flux, beep, and it'll work just fine. Now, if you wanted to prevent fire scale, guys, fire scale is when the silver it's copper. It has copper in the silver. Sterling silver has copper in it. And when you heat it, it starts to let the copper rise to the surface, creating a cloudy look. It kind of gives it like a grayish, cloudy look in the silver. And you really, it's just beneath the very, very surface. And you can't just polish it off. You need to sand it. You need to grind it down and get down below that surface to get that copper that surfaces through high heat. You need to really sand it with some heavy grit and then start your process again. It's really super annoying. But if you want to minimize your chances of having fire scale, you want to go in hot and heavy right away. Get it hot, and make your solder run and get your joins done and get the heck out of there. Now, if you're sitting there and doing slow for a long time and slowly bringing it up to temperature, that copper and the sterling silver, the copper element of it is going to start to surface to the top, and then that's going to create that cloud of that we call fire stain or fire scale. I think to different levels, and I think this has a little bit of, that's probably just because I wear this. It's probably just crud from my skin, but your oils will respond to the silver, but you can polish that off with a polishing cloth, or you can go through with your polishers and repolish it. But and if you want to eliminate further reduce your chances of fire stain or fire scale, you want to do a mixture of denatured alcohol, 50% denatured alcohol, 50% boric acid, which is like roach killer, 50-50 mix. The boric acid is like a white powder, and your denatured alcohol, you put it in a jar. You want to keep it in a glass jar, shake it up really good, get a good mixture, dip your piece in there, and then put it on your block. Light the mix. Get your denatured alcohol mixture out of the way, because for safety, that'll make a firebomb. And then you want to you could let it just evaporate. The alcohol will eventually evaporate, or you could light it and it makes a cool green flame. And then what's left is the boric acid coating on the silver, and it creates a coat so that the oxygen can't get into it because oxygen is what causes oxidization. If that makes sense. I know it sounds kind of scientifical, but it's legit. It's legit. So yeah, guys. So you really want to just kind of go in hard and fast with your heat to minimize fire scales, so that you just get in there, get that solder to run, get your pieces to join together, and then get the heck out of there. If you linger with your torch too long, you could create fire scale, and that's going to be a pain in the butt. Some people don't mind it. You can do fire scale on purpose to create like a cloud texture on whatever piece, whatever kind of art you're doing. But generally, if you're trying to get a good, nice mirror finish or a nice silver finish, you want to minimize by using your denatured alcohol boric acid mix. And use safety, guys, because it's highly flammable. And one more thing about that green flame that looks really cool whenever you light it, because you have to burn off the alcohol, is don't breathe those fumes, guys, because it's pretty poisonous. So make sure you have a ventilation, or you light it and then you leave the room with the fan going, and then come back after a few minutes and let that kind of fumes disseminate, because although it's fun and kind of cool to look at, you want to make sure that you're not making yourself sick, friends. Let me tell you another quick thing. Going back to solder, another quick technique I learned from my instructor, Melanie Kline. This is a big piece of medium solder. I put M's on it, but I knew that eventually that was going to rub off. And what I did is I got my stamp and I just put stamped in M's for medium. And you can stamp in E's for easy. You can stamp in H's for hard. And that just makes it, because it's hard to tell just by looking at this. This looks just like hard solder, or it looks like mediums or easy solder. So, you want to make sure that you put them in different places, because you're going to cut little chips and use for your stuff, especially if you're using this kind of solder. There's stick solder, or it's like wire. It's like 20 gauge wire, and you can bend your wire in a certain way so that you can always know that if it has a little pigtail on it, that it's hard, medium, or easy. But yeah, you want to stay organized so you're not using what you're not trying to use. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Hard, medium, easy. There's extra easy. Each of these has its own application. But for generally speaking, guys, I use hard and medium. Hard and medium are my go-tos. Like I said, for bezel cups, or for my first solder parts of the job, I'll do hard, and then I'll go through later with medium. And that seems to work really, really well for me. Once in a while, if I need to, I'll use easy, but it's very rare that I do. And I'll use easy when I do flood technique, which is in this video right here. I don't know if I actually have a flood technique video, but flood technique is kind of frowned upon by silver purists, but it's a way to hide your seams when you have two pieces together and you don't have enough solder there to really hide that seam. You can put some easy solder on there and paste it over like cake frosting, and then sand it and clean it, and then it'll hide a seam when you have two pieces of silver butted up next to each other and you don't want the seam to be there. So yeah, it's not recommended, but in a pinch and if you're into it, then you're into it. If you can see here, I have a seam that I did. This is before I learned flood technique, but you can see these two pieces of silver on the top and the bottom. You can see the seam there. And if I could put some easy solder, I'd clean it, put some easy solder right on that. And then as it got hot, I would just like smear it. And then I can go through later with my sandpaper, and then it would look like one uniform piece of silver. And that would be really pleasing to the eye. Now, I don't really mind this. This is one of the first pieces I ever made. I didn't sell it because I have a crack there whenever I didn't anneal it, or somehow it got brittle. I got a crack there. And I think there was a crack here that I tried to put some solder in. So it's not perfect, but it's really cool. And fortunately, it fits me perfect. But because it has a couple flaws and it was really difficult to make with my skills I had at the time, like I didn't even have a 925 stamp yet. And I just boomed it and we went for it. And some people talk about, while I'm on the subject, some people say that if it has any kind of copper in it or mixed metal, that you can't stamp 925 because it's not 925. But I'm from the school that if it has silver, you want to put 925 on there so they know that this is silver and not nickel, because some people have an allergic reaction to nickel and they want to know that this is silver. This is obviously not silver. So it's not like you're being dishonest about the contents of the piece. So I think that what I've been told is if it's not obviously silver, then you don't want to use 925 because you don't want people to think that they're getting a product they're not getting. But I like to denote between nickel and silver, so typically I'll put a 925 there. Now this doesn't have a 925, so people might think it's nickel, but it's not. But it's mine, so it's whatevs. I think that's about it for this video. I try to keep it as short as I can so you guys can get the point. But you can go ahead and take a screenshot or just write these numbers down so you can know where you're at. This is mostly for reference. With your experience, you'll start to feel that you'll start to feel the silver and the way it responds. You'll know where you need to be. Boric acid, denatured alcohol, 50-50 mix, very good to dip so you don't get fire scale. If you want to make your own brass and sterling silver hard solder, these are the percentages to make that. You can look online and probably it'll tell you how to make medium and how to make easy. I think you'll just switch these, finagle these numbers a little bit. So yeah, man, I hope that kept it groovy like a drive-in movie. You know me. I'm always leaning toward moving forward. It's kind of early, and I've been sipping my coffee, but I wanted to make this video for you guys because I know that whenever I was first coming up in the game, I didn't really have all the answers. And I still don't have all the answers, but the answers that I do have, I'm not gatekeeping, friends. I'm here to make it happen rapping all day long, singing the song. All right, friends. So I hope you're leaning toward moving forward. Hug your loved ones. Eat a salad once in a while. Drink some water and get some exercise. Enjoy the fresh air. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we will be making something and it won't be a class, because I know this is not the most exciting thing in the world, but some of us need this, and I know I did. So yeah, let's keep it going. Never slowing. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's Benny, and I'm out. Peace.